Hi there, it's Kevin with Roguedeckbuilder.com here with another draft. This one's actually going to be triple, and I'm running out of time here, so anyway, I'm going to hurry and make this pick here. Sorry, my recorder was not working, and I'm going to go ahead and take this High Priest. It's a 2-3 that brings back stuff with converted mana cost 2 or less. I am an absolute fan of triple white in the Born of the Gods, or not Born of the Gods, excuse me, during the Nyx ×3 draft that we are doing here, and right off the bat is a Banishing Light, so I'm glad I went into white because we get the strongest card in the format as far as removal is concerned, and hopefully one of these amazing cards wheels, one of these white ones either being a Laguna Band Trailblazer with as many Strive heroic enablers in this format. Laguna Band Trailblazer is absolutely amazing. We also have a Deadbringer Lampods, which I'm a big fan of, as well as the Stonewise Fortifier, which is actually really good in the format that you can actually aggro your opponent out quite easily. And then we have the Ajani's Presence as well, which is, I'm a huge fan of it, as it gives cards indestructible, and you can actually make 2 creatures indestructible for 4 mana. But Banishing Light is definitely the duh pick here, and hopefully this either the Grim Guardian or one of these actually wheels. Huge fan of Grim Guardians as well. So we've got a Query Colossus, which is okay. It's a bit expensive, and I kind of want to go into an aggro strategy. So, but I mean, it's a 5/6 for 7 mana, which is expensive, but you basically get to get rid of a problematic card and put it underneath your opponent's library, where X is the number of planes you control. So a lot of times it's 7 mana. If you're in a 2-color deck, that's probably 3 or 4 cards down. I mean, it's removal though, because you're removing it off the battlefield. It's not going back in their hand, and they have to redraw it. We have Feast of the Dreams, which I'm a huge fan of. We have Oppressive Raise, which I'm actually a pretty big fan of, and we have the Hour of Need, which is actually a bomb card here. As the Strive, you get to exile any target creatures. You can actually exile your own creatures and make 4/4 flyers, which is a lot of times what you end up doing. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Hour of Need here. And again, blue-white is a huge favorite. So, huge fan of Freakish Chosen. I'm saying huge and fan a lot here. Excuse me. As well as Font of Return. Magma Spray is pretty good this late. It looks like red is quite open as a 5/4. This monstrosity becomes an 8/7. Isn't bad. There's still Renowned Weaver. I mean, these packs have been really good so far. We got a Fauna Fertility if I want to try to go into some sort of 3-color shenanigans. An Aerial Formation, which is actually not bad at all. +1/+1 in flying. And I think I might just take it and try to go into like a blue-white heroic strategy. This 2/1 will probably wheel. I mean, I kind of want to go into black, but I'm gonna try for a blue-white deck and see how well it works out. I mean, I think we're having a pretty good. I mean, this is a pretty good signal that blue is wide open. This Triton Cavalry is actually very, very powerful with heroic. You can do some crazy shenanigans with it. I mean, right here, this Thassa's Devourer plus this Triton's Cavalry is a way you can actually mill your opponent out. There's another Deadbringer Lampods, which is, I'm a huge fan again of this card, as it gives your guys Intimidate. I might just take this Laguna Band Trailblazer, as we are trying to go like an early aggro strategy. And I mean, I still think that the Cavalry is a great pick here. And also this Rise Eagles isn't bad, but 6 mana for just 2/2 flying bird tokens isn't great by turn 6. So I'm going to go ahead here and take the Trailblazer. Now, it looks like white is completely cut out of. We can actually go into the Hubris, which isn't bad. You get to return target creature in all auras, which is, you can either use it defensively on your own stuff, or you can use it offensively to return target creature to the owner's hand, which is very impactful in this format. Of course, there's tons of Strive. There's tons of other heroic. There's lots of counters on things, lots of auras on things, and Hubris can just be a blowout. So hopefully Shorestalker comes back. We also have a Death Toucher. This is a very, very good card. 3 mana for a 2/3 Death Toucher. But again, I want to try to go into blue, and this is making me think that black is wide open for this Nyx Infusion and the Petrifier. But I'm going to take the Hubris here. And we got another one, which is great, but this Thassa's Ire is pretty good. There's a lot of ways to destroy enchantments in the format, but I'm thinking that, well, we're probably going to get enough Hubris over the course of 3 more packs. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Thassa's Ire since it is an uncommon, and we do just want like a 1 of or maybe a 2 of. And now I think I might have to be switching into another color here. A Blade Tusk Boar is still open, and this card is amazing. 3-2 Intimidate, there's not a lot of red cards that can block it early. And Magma Spray, I mean, this is, and Starfall still in, and this is just a clear sign that no one is going red. And so I might just need to switch over here into a red strategy. I mean, I still like the Fawn of Return, so I'm thinking that black is still wide open as well. So I'm going to go ahead and take... I'm going to go ahead and take the Blade Tusk Boar and see if we can actually get a few more. And now we are definitely getting some great red cards here. I actually am a fan of this Skink. It attacks 2-1 when it attacks you scry 1. That's pretty decent to set up your hand for the next couple turns. So we'll take the Skink. And the Hoplite's actually really good as well. So we can take the Shorestalker. I can take another aerial formation, but again, we're going to get plenty of these. Or we can actually take the Satyr Hoplite. And I think that another early drop that gets big is the way to go. And I'm thinking we're going to get plenty of Strive cards later on. So another Font of Return. Wow, we could have had a ton of those. But another Satyr Hoplite. And again, these red cards are just wide open. Flurry of Horns isn't bad. It's for a lot of times 4 damage for 5 mana. And you get 2-3 red hasting tokens that stay out. So I'm going to go ahead and take it. And this guy's actually quite expensive. This Deadbringer Lampads is better than the Lightning item because the Lightning item is a little too expensive sometimes. And if they're just going to keep feeding me kind of these black cards, if this is almost a force card, then black is great. And there's a Shorestalker. We can definitely go into a red-blue tempo type list. I hate to pass up these amazing white cards, but as you can see, white just seemed to be cut out. And we have this great High Priest, which you can continue to get back. I mean, there's some pretty cool stuff that you can do with this card as far as like creatures that actually sack or creatures that get in the graveyard, like the guy that brings in a 1/3 Death Touchers. Alright, so here's a Freak of God of the Affliction. This card is actually not too expensive at the moment. It's a mythic. I'll take it if there's nothing better, and so far I'm very disappointed with this pack. We have this Cures Dismissal, which it's enchantment, so you can actually turn enchantment creatures to their hand. So, this could be a one-sided kind of like upheaval a lot of times in this format. We have a 1/1 Death Toucher that I am a fan of, and that is about it, though. This pack is very weak. I am a fan of this Chariot of Victory, but I don't see myself first picking it. And yeah, this guy, he's all right. A 5/5 trample that gives things trample. A 2/1 Flying Vigilance is not bad. A Font of Ire is actually really good, and I might actually just take that and go into a kind of red burn deck, as I think that red continues to look wide open, but I could just take the Freaka just for the money, but I'm not going to go in those colors, and so I actually do want to win this one, so I'm not going to take it. Again, I wish I would have gone into the red earlier, but it still seems like the red will be wide open. We got so many things that wield. Reprisal's awesome. 2 mana to destroy target creatures with power 4 or greater. And we could still go into white and focus on red-white, which of course is one of my favorite color combinations in Limited. We can continue to go into blue, as blue looked more open than the other colors. We have the Font of Fortunes, which this card, 4 mana to draw 2 cards, isn't bad. This reminds me a lot of like a Think Twice, plus you trigger off all the constellation stuff. We have the Cyclops of Eternal Fury that gives everything haste. You can look at it as just a 6 for a 5/3 haster. We have another Flurry of Horns. The last one wheeled, so I'm thinking this one will wheel as well. I like the Sigil's Skink a lot. A 2/1 for 2. We have Magma Spray, which is removal, which I just might have to take for early removal, which I believe I'm going to do, even though the last one did wheel as well. But I do need some very reliable removal. So we have the Darkra Mystic, another early drop that you can actually prepare for the future by looking at your top card as well as your opponent's top card and decide if you want to put those in the graveyard. But I love the Sightless Brawler, and I did want to kind of wean myself off of white. That's why I didn't take the Reprisal, but it's clearly the best card in here. There's another Starfall and another Magma Spray, but a 3/2 for 2 mana with the Bestow ability. I mean, it can attack alone, but it can block alone, and it's quite easy in like this aggro, especially with the Ablative Spores that have like Intimidate, the Satyr Hoplites we're getting out early. I think it's the perfect card in this strategy. So we're gonna go try to go for a red-white heroic, and again we could take this Satyr Hoplite, but Ablative Spore I'm still thinking is the most powerful card here. Another Aerial Formation. Some great little white cards here. Again, I hope this comes back. Another Font of Return, another Grim Guardian. But Blade Spore seems like the right pick. So we have a Storm Chaser Chimera. This card's actually pretty underrated and limited, and I'm not against actually still going into a blue-red, but if I take this, then I'm starting to really put myself in those two colors. The Desperate Stand, any creature gets +2/+2 First Strike and Vigilance. I think that is perfect for what we're trying to do in our red-white strategy. This will probably wheel if I let it, but nothing else in here is that amazing. I mean, here's a Defang type card. You put on an enchantment creature, it gets double strike. So, I mean, you put it on this. Nope, not on the Satyr. I don't think we have many enchantment creatures except for the Sightless Brawler at the time, so it's just going to be this desperate stand that I'm going to take. And if we get a couple more of these, we'll have a great deck. So now these 2/1 Eagles actually look really good, but there's another Flurry of Horns. This is like kind of the similar pack that we just saw. And another Aerial Formation. Wow, there's a ton of Aerial Formations. And this guy with an aggro strategy is going to be too much. I think that curving out at 5 will be perfect with Flurry of Horns. But, I mean, Eagle of the Watch might just be the right pick here. No, I'm going to take the Flurry of Horns because, again, I'm not 100% dedicated to the white. I mean, we're getting past some pretty cool blue cards. I mean, this could be our 4th Font of Fortunes, I believe. And, man, look how many Starfalls and Magma Sprays. We go ahead and take the Magma Spray. Cruel Feeding's great for heroic as well. +1 is your own lifelink to 2 creatures for 4 mana is awesome. But Magma Spray's very good removal. There's so many cards that it can kill in the format. Another Armament of Nyx. Return Reveler's not good. The Font of Ire. Font of Ire's fine. We're going into a burn strategy. Lightning Diadem, again, it can act as a heroic enabler late game, but I'm thinking this Mortal Obstinacy is actually better. I mean, it's a lot better for the early heroic stuff that we're trying to go to. And this is it's just too expensive. 6 mana for a +2/+2 and 2 damage. I'm going to take the Mortal Obstinacy. Now here, it'll be another Flurry of Horns. There's 3 of them. Wow, that's a lot. But I mean, it's 2 creatures for one card. And in this format, a lot of times that is the difference. You just overwhelm your opponent. And a late game like a Desperate Stand just got a lot better with, say, Flurry of Horns and something else. I mean, for 6 mana, that's giving things +6 damage there. Starfall, Mortal Obstinacy, I think at this point we might need to take the Starfall. I think that the 3 damage to the controller actually might come in handy. I do need to find some more heroic cards in the next pack. We're a little low on them, but I mean the Mortal Obstinacy is fine. And if we need to splash blue maybe for these aerial formations, I can see myself maybe doing that. But I don't know. I'm liking the switch over to red. I think that it was a clear sign. We have some pretty amazing cards here. And I'm sure this last pack will have be even more red heavy for us, as we saw no one taking red in the first pack. So going to the left, the red cards seem to flow our way. But I'm very happy with the draft so far. So we get another Trailblazer, or we can get this Stonewise Fortifier. I'm going to go ahead and take the Trailblazer. I think it's something that will be better later on, and either of these are fine. I'll just take the uncommon. And if we have to play the Gluttonous Cyclops, we will. I mean, it's not bad. A 5/4 for well, it's not very good either. I mean, it's not. Unfortunately, there's not much you can do with this card. It's not an enchantment. Its monstrosity is a bit pricey. Even I mean, next turn you could dump a lot of mana into it, but right off the bat we get gifted exactly what we need, which is this launch of the fleet. And with the amount of heroic cards we already have, early heroic cards between the Laguna Band Trailblazers and the Satyr Hoplites. This Launch the Fleet is very, very powerful, as it puts a 1/1 creature tapped and attacking for 1 mana for each creature that we have. Hopefully this Ajani's Presence will wheel. There's nothing really else in this pack that we want. It's very heavy on black and green, 2 colors that we've pretty much completely cut out at this point. There's another Flurry of Horns, but I don't know, 4 is a bit overkill at this point. I'll probably will take it over anything else. The Eidolon of Rhetoric 1/4 isn't that great, and especially since we'll probably be casting more than 1 spell. Again, this Chariot of Victory is not bad. But I like this more for a green or a blue type deck with later creatures. So Launch the Fleet it is. And again, this is all of our whites are very playable, and all of our reds are very playable. So even right now, I believe I could even make a deck with what I have. So I'm a decision here for just a 3/1, a fast 3/1. It's better than the 2/1, of course, so we can rule that out. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 whenever enchanted creature deals combat to player. You may sacrifice. If you do, destroy target artifact. Okay, so it's the opposite of the Mortal Obstinacy. This will definitely wheel. We don't need to take it right now. It's going to be the 3/1 for 2. Yeah, there's nothing else in this pack. I mean, that's something we will play, though. I mean, we are going the aggressive deck. The good thing is we have the Fawn of Ires. I'd take 1 more to kind of finish off our opponent, but really we just have to get our opponent down to 5, and it's pretty reliable for 2 Fawn of Ires to finish off our opponent, and that's going to be quite easy. So let's see this one. Rouse the Mob. Any number of target creatures gets +2 and trample. I think that's perfect, right? Isn't that exactly what we want going in our heroic? So I'm good on heroic cards after this. I can, oh geez, I could have like 3 Grim Guardians by now. This card is so good. And this is another very underrated card, a 2/1 heroic in black. There's actually a lot of heroic enablers in black. I don't know about for just this format, but anyway, it's going to be the Rouse the Mob, and there's really nothing else out of this pack that's going to help us. So I can start taking creatures above with the Launch the Fleets, the Desperate Strand, the Rouse the Mob, and maybe 1 more heroic card will be great. But I mean, at this point, I mean, I can a 2/1 is very, very good. Again, this will probably come back. Very good card. This card's awesome, awesome, awesome. 6 mana destroy creature and a land. Oh, I love it. But we're not going black. I kind of wish I was. Look at all these amazing black cards. The 2/1 Minotaur, the Nixon Fusion. We could take the Mastiff, and he's actually pretty decent in the aggressive strategy, but I think a Sigil's Skink is exactly what we want. Now we have a lot of 1 and 2 drops. Yay, we get a Line Breaker. That's the best card that we could get at this point. This card is just completely amazing in the format. We have tons of ways to make it heroic. It's +2/+0 and Intimidate. With the Blade Tusk Spores, we have a lot of ways to intimidate. This Fawn of Ire, of course, would be another acceptable pick, but the Line Breaker is exactly what we want. Now, and I'm glad I didn't take it, because here's another Font of Ire. This is our 3rd one. I'll go ahead and take that. And I probably don't want any more Font of Ires, because then they just become too mana intensive. But I mean, look at these Flurry of Horns. I'm gonna have to actually make some tough cuts here. I probably won't even play the Magma Sprays unless I go up against another deck where they're good. But we're just going to go complete aggressive as possible. Dictate the Twin Gods is not something I want to be playing here, so it's going to be between the 0/4 and the 1/1. I really think it's kind of funny that I'm thinking a 1/1's better than a 0/4 at this point. This does double damage, and you can flash it in, so I could go Dictate the Twin Gods, flash in the Fawn of Ire, and just go from there. But this card's so unreliable that I'm thinking just a Satyr Hoplite is better for the strategy I'm trying to go. And man, I think this could be our 5th Grim Guardian. And then we are very good on 1-drops. I think a 1/1, that's kind of sad that I think a 1/1's better than a 0/4, but in an aggressive deck, every damage counts. But I mean, this card's great. So actually 1 more Rouse the Mob would be great. So there's a Starfall, a 2/2. Well, it's going to be the Ajani's Presence. I think we do want 1 more heroic enabler, and then we're golden. and we're just going to blitz our opponent. This is a very good deck. I'm happy with it. I mean, Starfall would be a fine pick, Laguna Band, Trailblazer would be not a fine pick, and so would Stonewise Fortifier. But the Johnny's Presence, the last heroic card that we absolutely do need, and we do want it. I'm going to go ahead and take the Flurry of Horns. I don't know if 4 will be overkill or not, but they seem good to me. And Flamespeaker Will, in case we do need to go more of another heroic enabler, is definitely an okay pick. Because, I mean, first turn we're going to be wanting to... I mean, this turns one of our first turn guys into a 3/3. And if there's a problematic artifact, we can get rid of it. So it's definitely good. Or you can put on a Blade Tusk Boar, make a 4/3 guy. You can put it on the Line Breaker. But we have a very complete deck. I couldn't be more than happy with this. I'm going to just go ahead and take the Cyclops for whatever reason I want to play this. Right now, I'm going to tell you it's going to get cut. Another Flamespeaker Will in case we want to go an all-out heroic strategy. And, wow, like, even another Font of Ire, which makes it up to 4, which I still think in draft is just amazing. So, again, I'm very, very happy with the way this is drafted. I think we've got a very, very strong deck here and hope to do really well. It's going to be very heavy on red. I mean, I could even go mono red here with the amount of playables that I have and not even worry about white, but we have a lot of bombs in our white, like the High Priest. And you know what, the High Priest will definitely make it, but Banishing Light is really our only good removal. So as far as we're going to want to start with the strategy of our 1-drops of our heroic cards. So these are heroic enablers here. This is reliable removal. I might not even just go the Magma Sprays, and you guys might question this, but our cards are going to start outpacing theirs. So, I mean, these are probably going to make it in here, and same with the Font of Ires, but I want to go as many quick creatures. We might not need these Sigil Skinks. It depends on how many creatures we have, because we want a good amount. Yeah, they're going to definitely have to be used because we're running out of slots. I mean, these are going to count as creatures. These Flurry of Horns. So we're sitting at 15 creatures, 16 creatures with the Akron Line Breaker, which is pretty heavy. So I don't know if these Flurry of Horns actually need to be in here, but I'm thinking they are stronger. And this Oreska Swiftclaw is great. And yeah, the Sigil Skink. So that leave us only 9 cards or 8 cards in a 15-card deck to work with. So we're going to have to make some cuts right off the bat. And maybe they are the Flurry of Horns that just need to come out. But these Flurry of Horns seem really good. But again, I'm going to try to go as aggressive as possible. So it's going to be these cards plus, so just 13 creatures I think is fine, plus the Banishing Light, the Font of Ires, and I'm gonna bring in these other heroic enablers. And I'm thinking that this is probably, I mean, we want to hit, we're curving out at 4, so our curve is incredibly aggressive. Yeah, I think this is right. I really do. I think we need to get as much early damage as possible and just rely on 2 Font of Ires, getting us there for the last 1 or 2, getting us in there for the last bit of damage. We can bring Magma Spray against any other early deck, and we can bring these Flurry of Horns against any other early deck that maybe we just need to overwhelm. And this is, this is how good our draft ended up being. I mean, I really have 8 cards here, or 7 cards here that I definitely could use. And we're going to go, again, a very aggressive 15 lands. Maybe I'll go down to 14. I think a Sigil... No, I'd have to cut another, like a Flamespeaker's Will or something. And I want... Everything has heroic in here, or works very well with the Flamespeaker's Will. Like, even on a Blade Tusk Boar is great. And, yeah, I'm thinking that being a very aggressive on... And 6 and 5... We have no doubles in here, so I'm thinking we can safely put in other planes. Definitely going to submit this. Again, we can check this curve out here. Let's see. Let's look at the stats here. It pulls up like, our average cost here is 1.84, so with 15 lands, that's easy to get. Of course, the Fawn of Ires puts us up more like 4, but again, we're gonna be dropping those early and then blowing them late. So creatures and lands, still 36% land, which is I think more than enough, and 32% creatures, and yeah, I think this will be great. Too bad this High Priest couldn't bring back a enchantment converted mana cost 2 or less, but it's only a creature card. I still think these worth putting in here. I mean, this could be my last cut for another land, but I think it is worth putting it in here, as it will eventually bring back, like, you can bring back 1/1s, 2/1s, that 3/1, the 3/2 Sightless Brawler, and I can be very aggressive with that. So we'll see how it goes. I might just be completely unrealistic about how well this deck's going to perform, because we do have some strive cards that they really want to be striving for 6 mana, like this Desperate Strand, this Rouse the Mob. Again, this would be like 7 mana if we want to give, but more than 1. And this, even like Launch the Fleet, though, is really like 3 mana. A Johnny's Presence, though, I mean, I could see myself wanting to cast this for like 7 mana and whatnot, but I'm thinking it will do very well. So wish me luck. This has been Kevin with Roguedeckbuilder.com. Thanks for watching.